facing the police every single day.
Internal Affairs Internal Investigation IA 1911-0008 DFC Ronald Chandler 3 Number 2079. Investigator, Sergeant Jason Zakoish. Intenti, Professionalism, Trust. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. On November 19, 2019, Internal Affairs was provided with an inter-office memorandum completed by K9 Corporal David Musgrove, hereinafter referred to as Corporal Musgrove, which had been reviewed by the chain of command. The memorandum was completed on November 15, 2019, and detailed activity concerns of K9 Deputy First Class Ronald Chandler III, hereinafter referred to as DFC Chandler, while on duty the nights of November 13 and November 14, 2019. Through the use of TriTech Computer-Aided Dispatch Automatic Vehicle Location, CAD-AVL, data and his direct observations of DFC Chandler through Global Positioning Systems, GPS, Corporal Musgrove alleged over the 2 night shifts, DFC Chandler spent approximately 8 hours of a total 20.5 hours worked at the residence of 23270 Stelling Avenue, Port Charlotte, Charlotte County, Florida, for unknown reasons and not related to any duty functions. During one time period when DFC Chandler was at the Stelling Ave address, he advised over the radio he was en route to a disturbance call but did not actually start traveling to the call until 11 minutes later. After Corporal Musgrove completed the memorandum, Lieutenant Richard McDonald, hereinafter referred to as Lieutenant McDonald, and Captain Matthew Dowling, hereinafter referred to as Captain Dowling, were made aware of the concern. Due to Corporal Musgrove being in training during their next assigned night shift on November 18, Lieutenant McDonald and Captain Dowling monitored DFC Chandler's activity. DFC Chandler was observed at the Stelling Ave address for an extended period of time at the beginning of shift before responding to a call for service. After he cleared from the call, he returned to the Stelling Ave address shortly thereafter. Based on Corporal Musgrove's memorandum and Captain Dowling's observations, DFC Chandler was requested to respond to the District 3 office, where he was met by Captain Dowling and Lieutenant McDonald. DFC Chandler was advised he was being relieved of his duties for the remainder of the shift and would be notified in the morning. Additional information regarding Corporal Musgrove's and Captain Dowling's involvement is included below in their witness statement details. On November 19, 2019, DFC Chandler was served notice of the Internal Affairs investigation and officially placing him on administrative leave. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust, page 11. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Notification of Internal Investigation. On November 19, 2019, DFC Chandler was notified he was being investigated by the Internal Affairs Unit. DFC Chandler was advised the investigation would pertain to Charlotte County Sheriff's Office General Order 3.50 F.4.B.15 Neglect of Duty and 3.50 F.4.B.11 Response to Calls for Service. He was provided a Confidentiality of Internal Investigations form which he signed and understood. He was also provided with a copy of the Police Officer Bill of Rights while he was under investigation. 1=1 Charlotte County Sheriff's Office General Order. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Operations Manual General Order 3.50 Correspondence G.03.50 F.4.B.15, Neglect of Duty, Loafing, Inattention to Duties or Procedures. Members of the office will be attentive to job duties, will avoid any negligence in performing job duties and will avoid any appearance of loafing or neglecting work while on duty. Members will meet the expectations of their job as indicated in their performance evaluations and/or performance improvement plan. G.0.3.50 F.4.B.11 Response to calls for service. Members of the office will respond promptly to any call for service. Witness interviews. During the course of this investigation, I conducted interviews on multiple members of the agency who signed confidentiality of internal investigation forms. Pertinent details of their recorded statements are summarized below. Corporal Musgrove advised he was a new corporal of the K9 unit, and completed his training the same time as DFC Chandler, but has been a corporal for several years. The other corporal of the K9 unit was Corporal John Mills, hereinafter referred to as Corporal Mills, who was a senior K9 member and trainer. During K9 training they worked directly with the trainer and were not tasked with performing functions on their own. Integrity, professionalism, trust. Page 12. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Prior to the completion of K9 training, DFC Chandler was requested to assist on road patrol without a dog on September 1, 2019. After the shift, Corporal Musgrove was made aware of DFC Chandler's lack of activity during the shift, so he and Corporal Mills had a counseling session with him on September 3, 2019. The note, which was documented in Munis Employee Evaluation Notes, discussed DFC Chandler's responsibilities and expectations while on duty, to include assisting road patrol and conducting self-initiated activity. DFC Chandler advised he understood his expectations at that time. On November 13, 2019, DFC Chandler was working 5:45 p.m. to 4 a.m. the next day. During the shift, Corporal Musgrove observed a lack in activity by DFC Chandler, and his TriTech activity timer reached over 1 hour on 2 occasions while not assigned to a call for service. Corporal Musgrove checked DFC Chandler's activity log through TriTech CAD, which included AVL information. The information indicated DFC Chandler had spent approximately 3.75 hours of his 10.25-hour shift at 23270 Stelling Avenue, Port Charlotte, Florida. Corporal Musgrove did not address the concern with DFC Chandler, as Corporal Musgrove thought it may have been the house of a family member who recently moved back to the area and was not sure if it was a one-time occurrence. Corporal Musgrove contacted Corporal Mills to notify him of the concerns and the recommended course of action. It was determined to continue monitoring DFC Chandler's activity. On November 14, 2019, DFC Chandler was working 5:45 p.m. to 4 a.m. the next day. Early during the shift, Corporal Musgrove joked with DFC Chandler about not going to dinner with them the day before, and DFC Chandler replied he was having dinner with a friend who was home from college and her mom had made them dinner. Corporal Musgrove later asked about DFC Chandler's family member who moved back to the area, and it was determined to be in Northport, Sarasota County, Florida. After the two conversations, Corporal Musgrove met with K9 Deputy First Class Stephen Sella, hereinafter referred to as DFC Sella, who told him DFC Chandler was upset that Corporal Musgrove was asking about where he was at and who he was eating dinner with. Corporal Musgrove called DFC Chandler and said he was not questioning where he was at, but more the fact that a supervisor needs to be notified if he is going to be somewhere for an extended period of time. Right after the telephone call, Corporal Musgrove checked DFC Chandler's AVL and saw he was at the house on Stelling Ave, and ultimately stayed there for approximately 2 hours 7 minutes. Integrity, professionalism, trust. Page 13. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. During the time DFC Chandler was at the residence, Corporal Musgrove requested Sergeant Donald White, hereinafter referred to as Sergeant White, drive by the Stelling Ave in his unmarked vehicle to see if the patrol vehicle was there. Sergeant White only drove past the street and indicated the residence was heavily wooded and he did not observe a patrol vehicle. Also during the time DFC Chandler was at the residence, a disturbance call for service went out over the radio with 2 other deputies being assigned. DFC Chandler came across the radio and advised to leave one of the other units in service as he would be en route as the backup officer. Corporal Musgrove monitored TriTech CAD and AVL and observed DFC Chandler did not leave the residence for approximately 11 minutes after saying he would be en route. Corporal Musgrove's shift ended at 2 a.m., November 15, while DFC Chandler's ended at 4 a.m. Later in the day, while Corporal Musgrove was off duty, he checked the AVL data for the times after 2 a.m. and observed DFC Chandler returned to the address on Stelling Ave at approximately 3:32 a.m. DFC Chandler remained at the residence past 4 a.m., and left around 5:25 a.m. Corporal Musgrove estimated DFC Chandler spent over 5 hours at the residence out of a 10.25-hour shift. Corporal Musgrove also described concerns with DFC Chandler's vehicle GPS not showing him on the map at the start of both shifts, but once he had DFC Chandler restart the computer his position appeared on the map. Based on Corporal Musgrove's observations and concerns for the 2 shifts, he notified K9 Sergeant Jason Doherty, hereinafter referred to as Sergeant Doherty, who requested him to complete the inter-office memorandum. After completing the memorandum, Corporal Musgrove found out DFC Chandler had been at the Stelling Ave address one previous shift for approximately 30 minutes. On Saturday, November 16, Corporal Musgrove was not working and knew he was in training their next working shift, so he notified Lieutenant McDonald to monitor DFC Chandler's activity and AVL for November 18. During the shift on November 18, Corporal Musgrove contacted Lieutenant McDonald to check DFC Chandler's AVL data and it was determined he was at the address on Stelling Ave. Corporal Musgrove spoke with Corporal Mills, who was also off duty, but due to the concerns they had, Corporal Mills drove by the residence in his personal vehicle and observed a patrol vehicle pulled into the driveway behind the bushes. After Corporal Mills drove by, he was made aware Captain Dowling was also in the area verifying DFC Chandler's activity. Integrity, professionalism, trust. Page 14. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Corporal Mills confirmed he completed the K9 training for Corporal Musgrove and DFC Chandler. During the training period the group would perform activities together and no members were left alone to conduct patrol functions or training on their own. Corporal Mills confirmed he and Corporal Musgrove provided DFC Chandler with their expectations of activity while performing his duties. Corporal Mills was familiar with DFC Chandler from the previous time DFC Chandler was in the K9 unit and indicated he completed a memorandum at that time regarding his concerns of DFC Chandler as a member of the K9 unit. Corporal Mills advised the memorandum was attached to DFC Chandler's evaluation at the time. For his involvement in this investigation, Corporal Mills advised he was notified by Corporal Musgrove of the concerns regarding DFC Chandler and advised Corporal Musgrove to continue to monitor his activity. On the next night, DFC Musgrove contacted him and advised DFC Chandler was back at the address, so Corporal Mills again asked to wait and see what happened. On the next day when they both were off, Corporal Musgrove contacted him to advise DFC Chandler returned to the residence at 3:30 a.m. and stayed past his shift to about 5:30 p.m. Corporal Mills felt there was no reasonable explanation why DFC Chandler would be at the residence at those hours, so it was recommended to notify Sergeant Doherty. On Monday, November 18, he was notified by Corporal Musgrove that DFC Chandler was again at the residence on Stelling Ave shortly after the start of his shift, so he drove past the residence in his personal vehicle. Corporal Mills observed specifically DFC Chandler's patrol vehicle parked in the driveway of the residence. The residence did have an overgrown driveway, so the patrol vehicle was not visible from the street if you looked down the block. Corporal Mills did not have any further contact with DFC Chandler other than to retrieve the dog once he was officially placed on administrative duty. DFC Chandler apologized to him for letting him down, and made the comment it was all perception. DFC Sella advised Corporal Musgrove contacted him and asked if he knew anyone who lived in the area of Jamaica St, or why DFC Chandler would be over there. He did not have any knowledge, but indicated maybe it was family who moved back into town. On the next day, DFC Integrity, Professionalism, Trust. Page 15. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Chandler approached him and complained that Corporal Musgrove was questioning him about who he was visiting. DFC Chandler told DFC Sella it was a friend from college who was down visiting with her mom who made dinner for them. DFC Chandler stated he was not stupid to do something on duty and only meets with the friend while at work because he did not want his wife to find out. Corporal Musgrove asked DFC Sella if he recalled DFC Chandler being at the Stelling Ave area before, and he recalled one other time. DFC Sella researched CAD and found it was on October 22, 2019. DFC Chandler and DFC Sella were going to meet up to train, but DFC Chandler advised he could not as he was meeting with family. When DFC Sella checked the mapping program, he observed DFC Chandler in the area of Stelling Ave. Said Sergeant White advised Corporal Musgrove made him aware of the concerns regarding DFC Chandler and requested he drive by the address. He drove down a side street and did not observe a patrol vehicle but indicated the yard was heavily wooded. Sergeant White did not drive down the street or have any further involvement. Lieutenant MacDonald advised on Saturday, November 16, he was contacted by Corporal Musgrove, who provided the details regarding the concerns with DFC Chandler. Corporal Musgrove advised he was in training on their next working day, November 18, and requested Lee MacDonald to monitor DFC Chandler's activity. During the shift on November 18, Corporal Musgrove contacted him and requested to check DFC Chandler's location on the mapper. Lieutenant MacDonald checked the computer and observed DFC Chandler was at the address on Stelling Ave. Shortly after the conversation, he received a telephone call from Captain Dowling, who advised he was monitoring DFC Chandler's activity as well. Lieutenant MacDonald advised DFC Chandler remained at the residence for a little while before being dispatched to a call in Punta Gorda. Lieutenant MacDonald checked DFC Chandler's position a little while after the call for service was cleared and observed DFC Chandler had returned to the residence on Stelling Ave. Based on the observations, Captain Dowling requested DFC Chandler to meet with them at the District 3 office. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust, page 16. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Lieutenant MacDonald and Captain Dowling met with DFC Chandler at the office. Captain Dowling articulated his observations and concerns to DFC Chandler regarding loafing, indicating he spent approximately 2.5 hours of his 3-hour shift at the residence. DFC Chandler indicated he was having a rough time at home and the person at the residence was a sounding board for him. He realized it was inappropriate and should be out patrolling his last few work shifts. The message communicated was not a counseling session or discipline, but steps taken based on observation pending a formal investigation. Captain Dowling relieved him of his duty for the remainder of the shift and advised he would be contacted the next day. Captain Dowling advised he was made aware of the concerns regarding DFC Chandler through the inter-office memorandum completed by Corporal Musgrove. On Monday, November 18, he wanted to verify the concerns himself or to see if it was just a 2-day occurrence. When he started his shift to monitor DFC Chandler at approximately 7:30 p.m., DFC Chandler was already at the residence on Stelling Ave. Captain Dowling responded to Stelling Ave, arrived approximately 25 minutes later, observed a patrol SUV parked in the driveway, and waited nearby to see how long it remained. He attempted to contact Lieutenant Christopher Williams and Corporal Musgrove with no success, so he contacted Corporal Mills to see what options there were for DFC Chandler's K-9 if he was relieved from duty. Corporal Mills advised he was in contact with Corporal Musgrove about the incident and drove past the residence already. Shortly after the conversation with Corporal Mills, Corporal Musgrove contacted him asking if he was out for DFC Chandler. Corporal Musgrove advised DFC Chandler was at the address on Stelling Ave, to which Captain Dowling advised he was aware and monitoring the situation. After being there for a short while, DFC Chandler was dispatched to a call for service in Punta Gorda. DFC Chandler did not immediately answer the radio, but responded on the second request by dispatch. A little while after the call for service was cleared, around 8:30 p.m., it was determined DFC Chandler returned to the residence on Stelling Ave and had been back there for approximately 25 minutes. Captain Dowling requested Lieutenant MacDonald to contact DFC Chandler to have him respond to the District 3 office. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust, page 17. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Captain Dowling and Lieutenant MacDonald met with DFC Chandler at the office and explained the concerns to him. Captain Dowling advised he did not ask specific questions to DFC Chandler as he did not want it to interfere with the investigation. However, during the conversation, DFC Chandler advised the residence was a friend's and they were just talking because he was having problems at home. DFC Chandler said even though he was there for the amount of time he was still available for calls. DFC Chandler questioned whether he would lose his job and said he did not do anything that would get him fired. Captain Dowling advised him he did not need to go to the residence anymore and he was being relieved for the rest of his shift. Sergeant Doherty advised he did not have any direct involvement in the incident with DFC Chandler other than reviewing the inter-office memorandum. Sergeant Doherty advised prior to DFC Chandler completing K-9 school he was made DFC Chandler aware of the expectations of a K-9 officer which included self-initiated activity when not helping road patrol. Documents. For the scope of this investigation multiple documents were obtained and reviewed. The information was used to establish the occupant of 23270 Stelling Avenue and a pertinent timeline. The documents of significance included the property appraiser website, ASIS, Tritech RMS, Tritech CAD reports, timesheets, schedules, and AVL/GPS data. The property appraiser website identified the owner of 23270 Stelling Avenue as John and Barbara Heekin. ASIS and Tritech RMS confirmed Barbara Heekin, hereinafter referred to as Heekin, as being associated to the residence. Also associated was a female named Emily Harrington January 24, 1989, hereinafter referred to as Harrington. I was unable to find contact information for Harrington, so I attempted contact at the residence on November 19 and 20 with no success. The residence was found to be heavily wooded, making it difficult to see the residence and driveway without driving directly past the residence on the street. Photographs were obtained. In the afternoon of November 20, I was able to make telephone contact with Heekin, who advised she did own the residence, but she and her husband live elsewhere in Port Charlotte. Heekin advised her daughter Emily, Harrington, lived at the residence alone. She was vaguely. Integrity, professionalism, trust page 18. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Aware that Emily had a friend who was a deputy but did not know much details and did not know who he was. Heekin did not speak with Harrington on a regular basis and had no knowledge of a deputy visiting her at the residence. Heekin advised Harrington works business hours at a cardiology center off of Loveland Boulevard, in Port Charlotte. Heekin provided me the telephone number for Harrington and I also requested if she spoke with Harrington to have her contact me. I left a voice message for Harrington on November 20, and the morning of November 21, with no response, so I recontacted Heekin. I asked more detailed questions regarding the investigation to Heekin and she advised the following. Harrington moved into the residence around March 2019, and had attended college at the University of South Florida. Heekin advised she does not cook and did not make dinner for Harrington or the deputy. Heekin also advised after our conversation on November 20, she went and met with Harrington at her work to find out what was occurring. Harrington told her the deputy was just a friend who came over after the gym and nothing sexual occurred. Harrington was also aware DFC Chandler had been suspended for being at her house. Heekin advised Harrington to contact me and thought she did. The conversations were documented on an inter-office memorandum note to file. In the afternoon of November 21, I received a telephone call from Harrington. Her communication was adversarial in nature and she advised she did not want to make any comments regarding the investigation. I indicated my concerns of making sure of her safety and that one of our members was not stalking her and she said no and again that she did not want to make any comments. The conversation was documented on an inter-office memorandum note to file. Once Harrington was identified as the person living at Stelling Ave, I verified through Tritech RMS and CAD that there were no calls for service involving her, or any recent calls at the address on Stelling Ave. I obtained DFC Chandler's Elvis/David/FCIC/NCIC transaction report, which showed one NHE for DFC Chandler running Hannington's vehicle tag on October 17, 2019 through Elvis. His complete Elvis report for the time frame was obtained, and it appeared he was running multiple tags at the time. The Elvis report regarding Hannington's tag indicated one other deputy ran the tag earlier in October, but appeared to be unrelated. When reviewing the information on Stelling Ave, it was found to be located in a residential neighborhood, out of the way of main thoroughfares. A map of the area is below. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust, page 19. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. All of the AVL/GPS records concurrent with DFC Chandler's work schedule were obtained and reviewed going back to September 3, 2019. It was found DFC Chandler was in K9 training until the beginning of October, then most of his shifts were night shifts, which encompass the evening of one day and the early morning of the next day. Based on the documents, the following pertinent timeline was established. The dates not indicated in the timeline were consistent with days off, and records were not obtained for those days. Timeline: April 8, 2019 to September 27, 2019 in K9 training school, September 28 to October 6 block training and vacation, October 7/8 4:45 to 3:00 shift, first day of K9 patrol on own, no concerns noted, October 8 training day, October 11/12 4:45 to 3:00 shift. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust, page 110. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. 137A and 139A, drove directly past Stelling Ave. 2:45A and 2:49A drove down Stelling Ave, October 12 13 4:45 to 3:00 shift, 7:06P, 7:09P, 8:58P, 9:04P drives past Stelling Ave, 11:44P, 11:47P, 11:57P, and 12:02A drives past Stelling Ave while on two different calls for service, out with juveniles and directed patrol, October 13-14 4:45P to 3:00 shift, no concerns observed, October 16-17 4:45P to 3:00 shift, no concerns observed, October 17-18 4:45P to 3:00 shift. 8:52P, ran Hannington's vehicle tag near Peachland Boulevard / Danya Way. 9:15P 9:36P in the neighborhood, to include parked in one spot for 10 minutes, but does not go on or past Stelling Ave. 139A and 1:41A, while canvassing for a burglary in progress call, 1910-010030, goes somewhat out of the canvass area to specifically go down Stelling Ave 2 times. October 21 20 seconds 4:45P to 3:00 shift, 10:25P to 10:54P at the residence on Stelling Ave, 29 minutes, October 22 modified shift, left early due to working a demo early in the day, 7:50P drives by Stelling Ave, while assigned to a directed patrol, 10:24P to 10:30P at the residence on Stelling Ave, 6 minutes, 11:15P goes out of service and GPS/AVL stops while appearing to be driving to Stelling Ave, October 24 working a detail, but this is the next day the GPS/AVL is activated. GPS/AVL does not initiate anywhere near Stelling Ave, October 30 10:00A to 8:00P shift, 11:54P drives by Stelling Ave, October 31 10:00A to 8:00P shift, 2:35P drives by Stelling Ave, November 4 5:45P to 4:00 a shift. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust, page 111. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. GPS/AVL initiates near Peachland Boulevard / Danya Way. 7:22P and 7:24P drives past and then on Stelling Ave. 2:35A and 2:38A drives past Stelling Ave, November 5 training day. 11:43P, GPS/AVL shows traveling from a call for service in Englewood towards Port Charlotte, but disconnects at El Jobin Road/Collingswood Boulevard 11:53 p. GPS/AVL reconnects on Stelling Ave, but immediately shows he left the area November 8 9th 3:45 p. to 2:00 a shift, 4:20 p. drives by Stelling Ave, 6:27 p. to 6:56 p. at the residence on Stelling Ave, 29 minutes, on vacation November 13-14 5:45 p. to 4:00 a shift 6:14 p. to 6:37 p. at the residence on Stelling Ave, 23 minutes, 8:26 p. to 11:19 p. at the residence on Stelling Ave, 2 hours and 50 minutes, 9:43 p. to 10:08 p. assigned to call for service at 23282 Stelling Avenue, 1911-007137 25 minutes, November 14-15 5:45 p. to 4:00 a shift 9:27 p. to 11:34 p. at the residence on Stelling Ave, 2 hours and 7 minutes, 11:23 p. indicates he will be a backup deputy for a disturbance 11:34 p. when he starts driving to the disturbance 12:05 a to 12:15 a at the residence on Stelling Ave, 10 minutes, 3:32 a to 5:25 a at the residence on Stelling Ave, 28 minutes on duty time, 1 hour 25 minutes off duty time, speeds of 67, 67, 69 and 73 on Kings Highway, 45 miles per hour zone, before going out of service and GPS/AVL disconnects while still traveling home. November 18 started at 5:45 p, but was relieved from duty after 9 p, 6:09 p to 7:29 p at the residence on Stelling Ave, 1 hour 20 minutes, 7:33 p assigned to respond to a traffic stop in Punta Gorda, 7:51 p cleared from the traffic stop, 8:13 p to 8:52 p at the residence on Stelling Ave, 39 minutes. Integrity, professionalism, trust page I-12. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. 8:52 p was called to the office by Lieutenant McDonald while at the residence *. Note Hannington's work address was examined and inquired about with DFC Chandler and there was no significant times or interactions to conclude he specifically or purposely went near her work. DFC Chandler's statement to Internal Affairs. On November 27, 2019, at approximately 9:15 a.m., one met with DFC Chandler and his representative, Steve Young, at the Internal Affairs Office at headquarters in order to obtain a sworn recorded statement from him. Prior to the interview, DFC Chandler was provided any and all material related to this case and given ample time to read over and review all the available information. At 11:35 a.m., DFC Chandler was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. In addition, he signed and acknowledged he received the Garrity advisory. During DFC Chandler's statement he was very detailed in his recollection of events, except for one incident regarding a call for service, and appeared to be sincere with no signs of deception. DFC Chandler confirmed the person he was visiting at 23270 Stelling Avenue was Harrington. He knew her from Port Charlotte High School as she was a few years younger than him. They lost contact with each other as they moved on from high school. Sometime in the middle of October, 2019, he ran into her at the Celtic Ray and they exchanged contact information. He began communicating with her and confirmed she was living at her parents' residence on Stelling Ave by herself. He advised she recently moved back to Port Charlotte and had attended college. DFC Chandler advised he was going through personal issues at home with his wife so he would talk with Harrington about them. He described her as his sounding board. He advised he would usually swing by her residence at some point during the beginning of his shift and they would talk for a short period of time while he remained inside his patrol vehicle. Their relationship began to progress and on several occasions he went over there for dinner. He did not see anything wrong with having dinner there as he was still available for calls. When asked about running Harrington through Elvis, DFC Chandler advised he was running tags in the area of Peachland Boulevard/Veterans Boulevard as he normally does while working. He did not recognize Harrington's vehicle as they were traveling, and when he ran the tag he saw it came back to her. DFC Chandler also indicated he recalled running her tag at an earlier date. Integrity, professionalism, trust, page I-13. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. While on patrol, not knowing it was her, but the Elvis report did not show him running her vehicle tag the previous time. I asked if he ran her tag to find out her address or for any other personal reasons, and he said he already knew where she lived at that point and did not run her tag for personal reasons. When asked about the pattern of him patrolling in the area of Harrington's residence, DFC Chandler advised he was providing extra patrols in those neighborhoods due to recent vehicle burglaries. He did admit to responding to a burglary in progress on Beacon Dr., which is on the other side of a waterway from Stelling Ave, and during a neighborhood canvass he specifically drove by her residence only to make sure no crimes occurred there. When I discussed the pattern of him initially only driving in the area periodically, then progressing to him stopping there more frequently and for longer times, I asked if he was stalking Harrington. He advised absolutely not, and she was a friend who was listening to him. When asked about Harrington being adversarial during the telephone conversation I had with her, DFC Chandler advised on the first night when he was relieved of duty by Captain Dowling he spoke with her to let her know what happened but never told her to not talk to me. When I asked DFC Chandler about the dates where he actually spent time on Stelling Ave, and not just driving by, he advised the following: on October 22nd, he had dinner with Harrington and did not think there was any issue with it. On the same day, his shift ended early due to working a demo prior to the normal start of his shift. He advised he did stop to see Harrington at the end of his shift for about 30 minutes before driving home. He advised he was off duty, so he logged off of his computer prior to him stopping at the residence. On November 5th, he was in training and headed home but decided to stop at Stelling Ave to talk to Harrington, but she did not want to talk, so he left. He was unaware of why his GPS/AVL was not working for the 10 minutes while he was driving toward her residence. On the shift of November 8/9, he had dinner at Harrington's residence and did not think there was anything wrong with it. On the shift of November 13/14, he stopped at Harrington's residence to talk with her and have dinner, but she did not make dinner, so he went to the barbecue smoking pit to pick up dinner before they closed at 9 p.m. Once he picked up the food, he went back to her residence and they ate dinner. While they were talking about his personal issues at home, he lost track of time and integrity, professionalism, trust, page I-14. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Did not realize how long he spent there. When I questioned DFC Chandler about the call for service on Stelling Ave, which occurred while he was already on Stelling Ave, he did not recall any details of it or if he responded to it. On the shift of November 14/15, he was at the Stelling Ave address eating dinner and talking with Harrington and lost track of time. During the time, Corporal Musgrove called him and began asking him about dinner. DFC Chandler explained his friend moved back from college and was living at her mother's house and she made dinner. He indicated he never told Corporal Musgrove he knew Harrington directly from college or that her mother made them dinner. DFC Chandler also said Corporal Musgrove did not have a conversation with him about notifying a supervisor when he was going to be somewhere for an extended period of time. DFC Chandler advised he was listening to the radio while eating dinner and heard the disturbance call, so he advised he would respond. By the time he cleaned up his plate and got out to his patrol vehicle, the two deputies were already on scene, so he continued talking with Harrington before responding to the call. After the call was cleared, he returned back to the residence on Stelling Ave to continue talking. During this time they talked about DFC Chandler leaving his wife and spending the night at Harrington's residence after his shift. After he left the residence, Harrington left a key for him outside in case he chose to stay there. Shortly before the end of his shift, DFC Chandler returned to Stelling Ave and remained in his vehicle a short while before going inside. While inside they discussed progressing their relationship further and him staying with her, but DFC Chandler ultimately indicated he could not leave his children and did not want to stay. On the way home he sped on Kings Highway and logged off of his computer because it was already past his shift and he was speeding. DFC Chandler said he did not have a sexual relationship with Harrington while on duty, and I did not question about what took place at the residence once he was off duty as it was irrelevant to the investigation. After the weekend passed he went back to work on November 18. He went back to the residence to talk to Harrington about what occurred on November 15. While he was there he heard a traffic stop occur which he was going to respond to, so he left the residence and was dispatched to it. After he cleared the call, he went back to the residence to continue talking with Harrington but was contacted by Lieutenant McDonald shortly after. DFC Chandler advised he met with Lieutenant McDonald and Captain Dowling and was relieved of his duties for the rest of the shift. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust, page 115. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. During the interview, DFC Chandler admitted to being aware of the vehicle policy regarding being logged onto the computer at all times when operating the patrol vehicle and his excessive speed. He advised he never manipulated his GPS/AVL, did not even know how to do it, and only logged off of his computer as he was out of service and not to intentionally hide what he was doing. He advised he lost track of time while at the residence on several occasions and did not expect to stay there so long. While he was there he was available for calls for service but now realized it was unacceptable. DFC Chandler admitted his actions were a neglect of his duty and a violation of policy and procedure. Summary of performance. I reviewed DFC Chandler's evaluations, discipline, and notes for the past several years and did not observe anything of concern other than 2 memorandums by Corporal Mills and DFC K9 Bobby Lister regarding DFC Chandler's dog handling skills during his first time in the K9 unit, and Corporal Musgrove's note regarding expectations on September 3, 2019. Conclusion. During the course of this investigation, I reviewed all documents regarding the chain of events and all the details involved. Sworn recorded statements and/or written memorandums to the case were obtained from all potential witnesses and DFC Chandler. I obtained and reviewed all other supporting information along with Charlotte County Sheriff's Office General Order 3.50, the policy governing guidelines for appropriate conduct/disciplinary procedures. During the scope of the investigation 2 additional violations of policy and procedure were discovered above and beyond the 2 DFC Chandler was initially notified of. The outcomes of all alleged and discovered violations is outlined below. Based on the information gathered, this investigator finds there is a preponderance of evidence to indicate DFC Chandler did violate Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Manual GO #3.50F.4.B.15 neglect of duty, and the charge is sustained. DFC Chandler violated this policy by spending approximately 7 hours and 22 minutes at the Stelling Ave address over the span of 3 shifts. The total time DFC Chandler was supposed. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust, page I-16. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. To work over the shifts totaled 23 hours and 37 minutes. During this time DFC Chandler was not actively performing his functions as a K9 deputy and was using the time for personal reasons. One concern noted was DFC Chandler's detailed recollection of most of the events that occurred over the time span identified in the investigation, but he could not recall or provide any details regarding the call for service that occurred directly on Stelling Ave. The call for service was only a few houses down from Harrington's, and occurred while DFC Chandler was already at Harrington's house. The first deputy arrived on scene approximately 5 minutes after the dispatch, followed by DFC Chandler approximately 1 minute after that. Based on DFC Chandler already being on Stelling Ave prior to the call for service being dispatched, he should have been the first on scene almost immediately, but the CAD indicated otherwise and DFC Chandler did not recall the call for service at all. Based on the information gathered, this investigator finds there is a preponderance of evidence to indicate DFC Chandler did violate Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Manual GO #3.50F.4.B.11 response to calls for service, and the charge is sustained. DFC Chandler violated this policy when he advised on the radio that he was going to respond as a backup officer to a disturbance call but did not leave until 11 minutes later. DFC Chandler's reasoning included he was cleaning up after his dinner, and when he went to leave he observed two deputies already on scene, so he felt he could continue talking with Harrington before leaving. The first deputy arrived on scene approximately 4.5 minutes after DFC Chandler advised he would respond, indicating his response to the disturbance was delayed regardless. Based on the information gathered, this investigator finds there is a preponderance of evidence to indicate DFC Chandler did violate Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Manual GO #3.50F.4.B.3 violation of official procedures or directives, not endangering persons or property, regarding policy GO 11.11 vehicle policy, and the charge is sustained. DFC Chandler violated this policy by utilizing his marked patrol vehicle on multiple occasions while being logged off of his laptop, therefore not displaying his GPS/AVL or status as defined in the policy. Integrity, professionalism, trust, page I-17. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Based on the information gathered, this investigator finds there is a preponderance of evidence to indicate DFC Chandler did violate Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Manual GO #3.50F.4.B.3 violation of official procedures or directives, not endangering persons or property, regarding policy GO 11.11 vehicle policy, and the charge is sustained. DFC Chandler violated this policy by traveling at excessive speeds in his marked patrol vehicle on a main thoroughfare. The top speed was 28 miles per hour over the speed limit, and the AVL/GPS disconnected around the same time, so no continued speeds were available. This excessive speed was not related to any law enforcement function and put the safety of DFC Chandler and other citizens at risk. I, the undersigned, do hereby swear, under penalty of perjury, to the best of my knowledge, information, and belief, I have not knowingly or willfully deprived, or allowed another to deprive, the subject of the investigation of any rights contained in SS 112.532 and 112.533, Florida statutes. Jason Zakoish, Sergeant, Internal Affairs, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Integrity, professional.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch. I am using any video here with under fair use. If you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc., and please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.